It goes back to how much to charge for shrub trimming. How much do you need to charge? Do you have any clue how much to charge for trimming large shrubs? Like in this backyard right here, there's an entire privacy row of arborvitaes. How much would you charge to trim those? Let's walk around in this video. My name is Keith Kalfas on YouTube. I've been landscaping for many years, made many mistakes, but I'll show you exactly what you should charge. These right here are emerald arborvitae shrubs, very healthy, and the tops of them are about 18 feet, and it can be deceiving. We're actually doing landscaping, we're planting some too, but we're gonna walk around real quick, and I'll show you here. Look at all these shrubs, see? Entire privacy wall, and there's some things that you're gonna wanna consider when you're giving a customer a quote, or maybe getting a quote. But so the tops of these ones here, you might think those are 15 feet. I guarantee you take a measuring tape, the tops of these shrubs are easily 26 feet high, right? But it's deceiving when you're looking at it. So if you go to quote this, you might think that, well, we can trim all these in a day. But first, if you're the landscaper and you're the one gonna be trimming them, let me, oh, this looks really nice. We're doing all this landscaping here, finishing all, we just did all this. This is called Chesterfield chocolate with stepping stones. But anyways, these shrubs took 2.5 days to trim. They're all done now. And you might be shocked. You might go, what? Yes. Well, you have to first ask your customer, do you just want the inside trim? Do you want the tops trimmed? Do you want them topped and reduced? Right? Do you want us to trim the outside and get permission from all the neighbors to go in their yards and trim that? Are you going to pay for that as well? Or are we just trimming your side? Right? What if your neighbors come out and start asking, hey, aren't you going to trim our side too? Like, there's all these things you have to consider and clarify in writing as well as verbally before you give that customer a price, because you might get knees deep in the job, and next thing you know, the neighbors want to know if you're going to trim their side. Now they might be upset or something, or it takes you way longer than expected. So we use extension trimmers by Milwaukee. I got steel ones too, but I like the battery powered lightweight ones, so you're not breathing in exhaust smoke and getting shoulder surgery. But and we have a big 16-foot orchard ladder, right? And you got to trim up all the nooks and crannies and crevices and around all these shrubs. And also you're going to have about like 8 big tarps from Harbor Freight and lay all these tarps down. And then while you're doing that, you got to go and blow all the shrubs to get all the dead stuff out, and then rake out maybe 20 years of debris that hadn't ever even been cleaned out from underneath all these shrubs. Does the customer want that done too? So the reason I'm asking all this, you might have to charge $3,000 just to trim some privacy shrubs around someone's pool. To what degree? On a gradient, what level of trimming? Because I'll tell you one thing, if you just go up and tell a customer, oh yeah, it's going to be $2,000 to trim the shrubs, they'll be like, what? $2,000? No way. Another company told me they were going to do it for $400. Well, the more you can communicate with the customer and give them the options and put the ball in their court and say, hey, sure, I could just trim them all for $400, do a face trim, but what do you want done? You ask them. And it's true that it can be shocking to a lot of customers because it's just trimming shrubs. You're not installing something that they can use and, I don't know, brag about or whatever it might be. It's just property maintenance. So you kind of got to get in where you fit in. And for this customer, we're doing an entire install. I mean, we're going to be here for a week. So I recommended to them that we do the full trim. We rake out all the stuff and blow it out from underneath before we do all the decorative stone, and we just do it the right way and get it done and out of their hair. So how much do you charge? I think you're gonna have to break down your man-hour rate and figure out all your pricing, and that goes all the way back to having a P&L statements and knowing exactly what you have to charge. And then how do you know your man-hour rate? Well, Another thing you have to do, see, I'm kind of dragging on in this video because you want like a general answer, but it's actually more specific than that. You would actually have to have already done a lot of shrub trimming jobs, and you're going to have to clock how long they take based off what level of service, and then figure that out into your math, and then adjust your rate accordingly, right? But I say one thing. Everything takes longer than you think it would. And sometimes things take 3 times longer and they cost you 3 times more. My first, literally, I'm embarrassed to say, 3 years in the landscaping business, I worked myself to death and I didn't make any money, and I was stuck in a 1-bedroom apartment with my wife because I literally could not wrap my head around, because I grew up poor, thinking how in the heck are people going to be able to afford to pay this stuff. And the truth is, once you get out of your own way, this is just a world of opportunity. So I hope that helps. Consider all that stuff. And I just gave a quote about an hour ago to trim and top a bunch of arborvitaes. They were nowhere near this big. And I looked at it and I said, man, you're gonna think it's like $400 to trim all that. It looks like $400 worth of work. But once you've done it 100 times and you know what goes into it, and you've got up close and personal in the trenches, and you've actually done the work yourself a lot of times, then you learn, no, it's $1,200. So, but you got to tell the customer why. Say, listen, there's a lot of ladder work involved. We got to get this little ladder and climb up and down and reach over the shrubs and all the cleanup. It's going to take an all day thing. It's going to be $1,200. And for me, a day rate, if we come for an entire day and work on a property, with the price of cleaning up and debris removal, it's going to be about $1,200, right? That would be with a 3-man crew. And if you're not working on the crew and you're just selling, I don't know how you're building your business. I'm not telling you how to structure your business, but do the math. Figure out how much does it cost per day for you to run your business. For me, it's like $650 a day, right? So anything above and beyond that, I can make as profit, right? So if you think about that, this is all another video, but it all goes back to how much to charge for shrub trimming. How much do you need to charge? Well, you might say, okay, if it costs me $300 a day to run my business, and I want to make $200 in my pocket, well, I have to make $500 a day, right? But here's the problem. If you haven't done the thing enough times and you haven't clocked it to know how long it really takes, and it takes you a day and a half, now you're going in the hole because you inaccurately quoted the job based off how long you thought it would take. And the only way to get better at that is cold hard experience. So, and there's this weird thing, I want to close the video with this. When you don't, for me, I'll talk about myself. There's a bird. When you feel in your heart, like you know for a fact, this is the reason why I have to charge what I harbor. Like I have to charge. I have the proof. I have the proof why I have to charge it, because I've done the thing and I have all the math. I have the proof. Then you feel justified in it. But if you're just kind of shooting off of a hypothetical, then you might feel like kind of like a liar and afraid to raise the price. So I think that the blood, sweat, and tears factor of actually have been in the trenches and lost your ass on a lot of jobs gives you the proof that you need to go out and charge what you need to charge, because now you have that dexterity in your field of consciousness, that your feet are planted firmly on the ground, and you say, no, I know I've done this 1,000 times, and I'm telling you, I'm the guy or I'm the girl for the job, and it's going to be this price because I'm going to do it the right way the first time. And it's just really what it is. You want it done, you feel that's a little bit different, and that comes from being in the trenches. So go get them.